see I've been digging it out, and you can see I've got a spade over there to carry on with the digging out. Look at it. I'm going to have to dig a channel across it so I can get the bike out and do a turn to get out. There's John looking toasty warm. Everything sorted?
Yeah.
I'm just going to wander down and make sure we've missed nothing.
I've just done toiletry on.
Yeah.
There's no box toilet across, but we'll see.
What, for
Showers?
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah. They're alright, that little spot. It just is a bit colder in there than it is in the tent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool for a lot of our stuff in there. This is a field we had. This is a full size campsite. They reckon they get about 4 tents on this. Me and John took up the corner. The snow, it was worse last night than it is now. You can tell we've done a lot of walking backwards and forwards. In there we've got 2 toilets and a shower, and would you believe it, there's a bedroom in there with a bed, with a duvet, and we stayed in tents. You can see we made ourselves comfy with the chairs last night, can't you? With a few cans which John has thrown in the bin, and you can see where we pitched our tents, the grass squares. We had to dig those out with a spade so we could get the tents down on something comfy, or really rather not snowy. Didn't take too long to pack away this morning. It's been quite a quick manoeuvre, to be fair. And you're looking at the view over the hills over there. And I've got to admit, that pub was actually quite nice last night. A couple of friendly dogs in there. One of them was a bit shy and stayed on a bed by the door. The other one come round scrounging food successfully, not just from me. Inside, yeah, not bad. Nice cosy fire we had, and got ourselves nicely sat down and sorted. Nice food, nice beer, nice people. We didn't stay up late last night though, did we? I think we were in bed for about 8 o'clock, weren't we?
Yep.
Yeah. Across the way, nice church. Actually, it is a nice church. This one next door to us here, that was meant to be a church as well. But it's a nursery now. The road doesn't look too bad, so it's just time to start digging and get myself out. So, talk to you again when I'm on the road. Bikes never pack up the same when you're leaving, do they? I can barely move. Bit of a snug fit, I'd say. Now, I'm not going to get a lot out of the GoPro, out of the drift. It's on 1 bar. I might get as far as joining up with the road onto the airport bypass, but just in case. I will carry on talking, but just in case I'll say bye, and I will put a bit of music up with the GoPro footage. See you in a bit. Now I'm having a nice steady ride. It's 7:30. It doesn't look too cold and it doesn't feel too cold, but you just never know, do you? So there's no rush in here, just nice steady ride. I say keep away from the wet bits, but it's all fucking wet. Lovely countryside, lovely stay last night. Pub was great, the staff were really good, very helpful. decent toilets and a decent shower, although I never used a shower. And in the caravan that they were giving us as toilets and showers was actually a room with a bed made up in it. And we were told if it gets too cold, use it. It never got too cold. That's the bottom line. I was really cold when I first got into my sleeping bag. My hands were bloody freezing. Excuse me, but I did turn up with a pair of thermal gloves this time. So I got them in, tucked them under my armpits and snuggled up inside my sleeping bag, and about 5 minutes later I was like, yeah, I'm okay now. I don't remember sleeping, but I must have done. We got into our tents about 8 o'clock at night, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Now I thought I'd been awake the whole time, but I couldn't possibly have been. I must have slept right through that and slept really nicely. My feet were totally warm. I had them in my tent boots. And literally, if you just touch your feet together so the two boots are touching, warmth, right away, toasty. The sleeping bag, I had to undo it at one point. I was getting way too hot. So all in all, that now there was loads of ice here last night, so I'm just going to go easy through this. All in all, that Dutch sleeping bag is good for winter. There's no two ways about it. Now John was going to come down here. He was thinking about doing when it's past, but we had a bit of a problem getting the bikes out because the car park was still snowed up. I had to dig mine out. I gave him a hand to push his. He was managing, but you know when you get snow, it hardens, but it hardens into, it's uneven. It's like high bits and low bits. And when you're trying to push a bike with your feet on snow that's done the same, it's kind of a bit tricky to get a bit of force behind it. So I went and gave him a bit of a push on his top box. That was my contribution to getting him out. His contribution to getting me out was to dig all the snow away from my front wheel. I dug a channel backwards so I could wheel the bike back and get the front wheel about level with a reasonably clear area, but not totally. And then John got a spade and he cleared it all out away from the front wheel. Did full left lock, little bit of throttle. Back wheel slid a bit, but it slid to the right, which put me in more of a straight line to get out. And that was it, job done. Load everything, get the cameras on and get gone. Now that lake over there, I'll just try and put my camera around it. There you go. That was frozen last night. It's not now. It's been a bit warmer overnight. A lot of the snow had sort of melted from around the tent. When we got back from the pub, it'd been snowing for a good couple of hours while we were in there. And I probably had a couple of inches of snow over the top of my tent. So basically I just gave the fly sheet a bit of a tug so that all of the snow fell off and then got in. I'm not that bothered about it, but if you open a fly sheet and try to get into your tent and all the tent snow falls off then, you take it in with you. So I made sure it was all out the way and then got in. Earlier this morning, it must have carried on snowing after we'd got in our tents, because this morning I just pushed on the inner tent so it touched the outer tent. And I heard all the snow sliding off the top. So we must have had a bit more overnight while we were sleeping. Johnny made a smart move. He put his tent under a tree. And it was a smart move because when it was snowing, he got no snow on his tent. A little bit of a dusting, but that was about it. It was slightly less of a smart move when the snow started falling off the tree, because I could hear thump, 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 thump all night. And I was thinking, Jesus Christ, that's heavy rain. It turned out to be the snow falling off the tree on his tent. He tells me he put his earplugs in and went to sleep. GoPro Max did fail to work again this morning, but I sorted it. If the battery power goes into amber, it's not going to record much. It records for a few seconds in full 360 and then switches itself off. You just got to put a charged up battery in it, that's all. I did take the waypoint off, so I haven't had to go down that lane at Sparrow Pit. So I know I'm on the right road, I know I'm doing everything right now and I don't need to worry about it. And this time in the morning I'm hoping quiet roads the whole way. Nice simple straightforward ride home. Saying I'm in for a long ride, he's saying I'm going to be home at 9:30 and it's only 20 to 8 now. Bloody hell. I wonder. I'll pull up in one of the towns, I think I know what's happening. Yeah, got to admit the staff were quite friendly in there last night. Quite chatty. The owners came over and got the fire going for us. Kept it going all night, so we were nice and toasty warm in that little corner we got right in front of it. Friendly dog kept walking around looking for food. It got it from us and a few other people in there. The other one stayed by the door. I deleted one waypoint while I was back at the campsite. I wasn't sure if I should have done two. Now I know I should have done two. And it's straight over. A lot of the snow's melted off the hills now. I think pull in behind this car and I'll get to the waypoints, I think. So I think Paul's happy with his GoPro 11. He's posted a few videos up with the footage. I think he settled on 1080p60. So I'm going to take his advice and set mine at 1080p60, which is what I've done. The GoPro Max is already on 1080p60 anyway, and it's always been on that. To be fair, it might explain why I thought the footage from the Max was better than the 10. But we'll see when I get home. Yeah, so he's alright with that. I believe he's also been out and got himself a little laptop to take away touring with him. The reason he's done that is the same reason I've done it. If you go out and buy enough memory cards to record a whole European trip, you probably need about 8 of them. And 22-24 pound a throw. You're looking at like easily 160 quid, and that's for one camera. It's actually, believe it or not, cheaper to buy a small basic laptop and an external hard drive, and transfer your footage each night. So I think that's what we'll both be doing. It'd be like turn up at a hotel while we're on the continent and setting up a power station. Now I think I talked about balcony roads for our European trip last time. This time I'll talk about what we do after that. Once we're done with the balcony roads around Grenoble, we're going to be heading away off towards Carcassonne. One balcony road along the way. Doesn't look too scary, that one. It looks more like it's going through a valley, but you know, whatever. Then we'll stay in a couple of nights in Carcassonne. The next day we're going to, when we leave Carcassonne, we're going to head to Andorra. The original plan was to stay overnight in Andorra after doing some of their sort of mountain passes. So we cover most of the good roads in Andorra and then get a hotel. We've sort of changed that. Paul wants to do a balcony road near the Spanish border but on the French side. And to get to it, we can't follow the exact route I was picking to get to Jaca. So what we're going to do instead is do the roads in Andorra, then drop out of Andorra onto a road that Lofty Biker's done called the N260, I think it is, which he says is pretty good. And I watched the video of him going around it and I thought, yeah, actually that's pretty good. We're actually doing it in the opposite direction to him. And it does look really, really good. But we'll only do it as far as Thawed. And then we'll head right back out of Spain and into the French Pyrenees. Pick up the D918 and follow it to Laruns. And then we'll turn and head back into Spain, into Jaca. Now we can do that and stay sort of roughly on time in terms of the original plan if we go out of Andorra and get a place in Thawed overnight. It knocks about 50 miles off the ride in the next day. Now it's okay, it gives us, I mean that day in Andorra we were only going to be doing about 150 miles, so adding a 50 to it is not too onerous, and particularly when it's on that kind of road, it's going to be brilliant. From there we're heading over to somewhere near Burgos. I haven't booked a hotel in Burgos, I haven't booked a hotel in Jaca either, or Thawed. There's a park where they filmed one of the Clint Eastwood movies. I'll get the name of it when I get home. But it's the graveyard area. So, it's been mentioned a few times now. We were told about it by Brian Jones and Stephen Fletcher. But there have been a few other people posting and asking if anybody knows anything about it. So, it's clearly something of interest and we might as well, if we're in the area, go and have a look at it. And Paul's interested in all of that sort of stuff as it happens. I think it's country music he likes. I'm not sure about cowboys, but yeah, he's I think enthusiastic about going, so we'll do that. Then we're going to head over to the Picos after that. We're going to get a hotel in Fuente Day. I've already booked that one. And do the N621, short section of it. And then the next day we are going back out up the N621 again to the statue, the deer statue, which we'll have done the day before, in the opposite direction. Then there's a village up in the hills. Paul's asked me if we can go to it. When I had a look, we'd already got it on the route, so we are going up there. And then we're getting a hotel on the outskirts of Potes. It's got a swimming pool. We're having a couple of nights there. Day off in Potes. And then we're heading out to Spain. Don't know where we're going to stop. We've not booked any hotels. Booked us a hotel in Calais for our last night. Ready for the Channel Tunnel the next morning. But I'm kind of thinking Chartres is a place we'd stop. Might stop at a place called Perigueux. There's another place I was thinking of stopping, but I can't remember the name of it. Stop in those places on the way up through France, and then get the train and home. So obviously, saddest part of a trip, that is that long drag. Well, that's my first snow camp over and done with. Done it now. Know it can be done. Don't have a problem with it. The only issue really is the bike. A snowed up car park really doesn't help. So while I don't mind camping overnight in snow, this bike isn't really designed, and I'm not really skilled for riding over snow. So yeah, would I do it again? Yeah, absolutely. Would I be more careful about checking out what's happening with the snow? Yeah, I would. I think I might even phone the campsite and say, have you cleaned a bit of a space for me to get my bike into? If you haven't, can you leave me a space? Other than that, yeah, I'd do it again. So my next outing is Shell Island. Next month. That is already booked. I've paid in advance for that. I was going to get me GoPro Max on my 10-foot selfie stick and hang it out my tent, and I was... This tent, the Gellet tent, doesn't have two zippers. And some tents have the same zip, but they have two zippers, so you can potentially open a hole at the top. And I was going to do that. I was going to stick a 10-foot selfie stick outside to have a look at the snow. I went to undo the zip, couldn't find two of them, only one of them. Went undoing the whole fly sheet, so I just unzipped it, had a quick look outside and got back into my sleeping bag. Didn't realise John was already up and about. So admit, the weather doesn't look too good over where I'm going. At home, I'm not overly worried. The temperatures are going to be reasonably high, so there won't be any snow on the ground, I don't think. No, you just know, don't you? I've said that it's going to be snow when I get there. Because at the end of the day, that's my next problem, is how do I get the bike back in the house. Half a mile before it says I need to do a left turn. I know the nature of the road I need to do it on. So bearing in mind I'm thinking the sat-nav's not actually right here, I am going to just keep an eye out. Let's get this up a little bit. Like it. We got the space where I pulled into yesterday on my bike. Yes, there it is. Is it? No, it's not. Right, I'm not going down there. That's not what I want. A6 to Hazel Grove. Let's have a look. I think this is where I'm going. Yep, there it is. Yeah, there we go. It says I got 57 miles to do, and I haven't.